We talked about Natarajan. Hardik Pandya was a reluctant bowler in a sense. He bowled, he put his body to everything. He bowled beautifully. Shardul Thakur kept picking his wickets. But Joy, what about Bhuvi throughout the white ball series? Natarajan went for a few, but that crucial over mattered. Look at Hardik Pandya, who came and bowled 9 overs. We thought maybe they'd give him 4. What about Bhuvi? 3 for 42, hit for 14 in the first 5 balls by Jason Royer, thinking, is it not Bhuvi's day? It always is.
No, absolutely, which means he's 9 for 28. Effectively, after that, he's 9 for 28, and that's what he did. Fabulous bowling. For me, he is the man of the series. For me, he's the difference between these two teams. Because if you look at it, then lots of batsmen have got lots of runs. No bowler has consistently given the kind of returns that Bhuvi has given. And, just look at these stats again from England, just from where he started. 7.5, 7, 6.75, 7.5, and we are talking about a T20 format. I mean, that's a ridiculous. Then 3.75, 3.33, 6.3. I mean, these are staggering figures. And staggering figures considering teams have got 300 plus almost every time they batted in the one-day internationals and in T20s as well. So given the kind of runs that have been scored, these are absolutely brilliant figures. Absolutely devastatingly good figures.
Yeah, I mean, you just look down that, the economy rate's obviously a little bit higher when it's T20s, which you expect it to be. But overall, you've complimented him before, Michael, every single time he delivered. And he was without his partner in crime. And despite that, he knew he had to do it from one end with less experience at the other.
Yeah, I agree with Joy. I think he has to be player of the series. When we're talking about batting and par scores being 350, we talked earlier about India should have got to 370, 400 today. England chased down the 330 the other day in 42. And then you've got this 80 miles an hour skillful seam bowler that's going at less than 4s pretty much all the time and picking up key wickets. He is, I've said it this week, he is the most skillful white ball bowler in the world. I don't know any other bowler that gets just the subtle movement like Bhuvneshwar, Kumar, and it's his calmness and it's his mindset, and he's always bowling the ball that the batsman least expects. And his skill levels, particularly to those two England opening players that come out there hitting to get the ball angled back in. And it's not just the angle; he's getting movement. He's getting that movement off the pitch, through the air, and he's restricting. And I thought that a real clever move that India produced today that they'd not done in the previous 2 games was bringing Rishabh Pant up to the stumps. And that made Johnny Bairstow stay back in his crease. If Rishabh had stayed back, Johnny would have gone out of his crease, and he wouldn't have been out LBW. He'd have been going over the top because he'd have met it that little bit sooner. So tactically, that was a smart move. But he is the most skillful white ball bowler, and it's always great when you see a player like him who's had difficulties with his injury to come back and to produce that standard straight away. It just shows you that he's made of the right stuff.
Certainly is. And Joy, we kept referring to some of the IPL franchises would be a little bit worried about the likes of Shreyas Iyer, Owen Morgan, Rohit Sharma briefly with that injury on the elbow. But the Orange Army will be delighted with Bhuvi. Of course, he'll have kissed and made up with Johnny Bairstow by now. They'll be sitting on the sidelines over there going, okay, this is done and dusted. Come on now, let's get together in orange.
No, absolutely. I think his fitness has been, if you see the glory times of SRH, it's always been with Bhuvneshwar dominating with the ball. And for 2 years consecutively, he was the highest wicket taker. He looks back to be in prime form. And this injury has worried him. And I remember chatting with him last year, and he said that one of his problems was he came back too quickly from injury and just aggravated his back again. And he said that this time he was planning not to make the same mistake. So he took a bit more time. In some ways, this, the whole pandemic helped as well because there wasn't that much cricket happening. He had time to rest. He had time to recover. And he's looking class of 2016, that Bhuvneshwar Kumar again. And if he and Bumrah can keep going, that's bad news for other teams in the 2021 World Cup.